It was still sitting on the kitchen counter when I got home at almost midnight. I remember staring at it while my tea went cold beside me. It wasn't even anything important at first glance, just a crumpled receipt from a small hotel about 40 minutes outside town. The date was from 3 days earlier. I picked it up because I was confused. I knew exactly where I had been 3 days earlier. I had been working a double shift and barely slept afterward. What I couldn't figure out was why someone I trusted had told me they spent that entire afternoon helping a relative move furniture. The hotel receipt didn't fit that story. I sat there for almost 20 minutes trying to convince myself there had to be a reasonable explanation. Maybe it belonged to someone else. Maybe it was old. Maybe I was being paranoid. But the timestamp was right there, 2:17 p.m. I remember because that was exactly when I had sent a message asking how the moving was going. The reply had been immediate. Still carrying boxes. My back is killing me. I felt sick. Not angry. Not yet. Just sick. The next morning, I folded the receipt and slipped it into my purse before leaving for work. I told myself I wouldn't bring it up. I told myself I was overthinking. Instead, I spent the entire day checking old messages. Little things started bothering me. Certain evenings that suddenly made sense. Canceled plans. Phone calls that were always taken outside. Weekend errands that somehow lasted 6 hours. Nothing was proof. But together, they formed a picture I didn't want to see. That night, I finally asked about the receipt. The reaction came too quickly. Before I even finished the question, I was told I was acting crazy. The hotel had a restaurant. Someone must have stopped there for lunch. Why was I snooping through receipts? Why didn't I trust people? The conversation somehow became about my behavior instead of the receipt itself. I ended up apologizing. Even now, that part embarrasses me. A week later, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I checked a shared credit card account we both occasionally used. I wasn't looking for anything specific. Then I found multiple charges from the same hotel over nearly 2 years. Not every month, just often enough. A room charge here, a restaurant bill there, always on weekdays, always during hours when I was working. I remember sitting in my car outside a grocery store reading the statements over and over. My hands were shaking so badly I dropped my phone. The confrontation happened 2 nights later. There wasn't any dramatic screaming, no thrown objects, no movie scene, just a long silence after I laid the printed statements on the table. At first there were more explanations, business meetings, friends, work stress, misunderstandings. Then eventually the truth came out in pieces. An emotional relationship that became physical. Promises it would stop. Promises it already had stopped. Promises that it meant nothing. The part that hurt most wasn't even the relationship itself.